So after break, hope you are refreshed, and Ia has introduced very interesting topic, how to assess our students' speaking skills. But before we assess our students' speaking skills, we have to somehow help them to improve their speaking and then assess. So I will try to introduce topic how to help our students improve their speaking communicative skills. So it is said that if you are a teacher and the subject you teach is a foreign language, then your main task is to help your students to become independent language users, so that to use words and phrases fluently without very much conscious thought to express themselves. And teachers have to provide more and more opportunity for our students to, of course, in classroom, to provide more and more speaking skills. For example, communicative tasks where speaking is the only way to complete the task. And today, as I have already mentioned, we will talk about the skills, methodology, how to improve our students' speaking. And what we are going to do now is to do typical find someone who activity. I'm sure you have tried this type of activity with your students. So I'm going to give you a checklist, and you have to stand up and mingle and find a person with a certain characteristics and write the name of a person who has this characteristic. And you have to write the name of a person in the box. For example, Elena, do you drive a car?
No.
No? In this case, you can't write Elena's place next to drives a car, and you have to move to another person until you fill all the boxes. And if you find a person, one person for each gaps, then you have to sit down, okay? Fine. Could you please help me? Now you can stand up, move around the room, and find a person and write the name in the box. You have 3 minutes, but of course, if you are finished, you can take your seats. Thank you for your contribution. So Nino, could you please tell us which of your colleagues like cooking?
Okay. Guanza cooks well.
Okay. And who has a pet?
And Nino has a pet.
What about playing musical instruments?
So Rita plays musical instruments, and Mia drives a car.
Okay, thank you. So I have a question. So your task was to find the person, and how did you get the information to find the person with a certain characteristics? You please?
By asking questions.
By asking questions. So what type of activity was it?
May I?
Of course.
Information gap activity, as far as I remember, yes?
Yes, and after all, can we somehow define what do we call information gap activity?
It's a speaking activity.
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Speaking activity.
When a person lacks some kind of information and tries to fill in this information by asking questions or something like that.
Okay, fine, thank you. You please?
It was a communicative task.
Yes, of course. So,
Use present simple. Use grammar.
yes, of course. There was a target language. They used present simple. So they practiced even grammar. Yes, grammar. So, can you name any other information gap activities that you know or maybe you have used with your students? Any of them?
Yes.
Yes.
Jigsaw reading or similarities and differences.
Yes.
Describe, draw.
Describe and
So,
draw.
yes.
Okay, thank you so much. So you have mentioned some other information gap activities, and sure, they are worth the effort. But today, I would like to demonstrate how texts can be used as information gap activity. To do that, I'd like you to take your teacher's hats on and put your students' hats off and put your students' hats on. And now let's do activity. It is communicative activity, which is called whisper dialogue. So, I have one question before we begin the task. How do we formulate question while we want to ask about past actions? How do we formulate question? For example, any of them.
If you want to talk about past events, you use past simple, so you mean the structure.
Could you please give us
For example,
any question?
okay, when did you meet your husband?
Yes, of course. When did you meet? Any other questions?
Or why did you do?
Why
did
did
you
you do
buy?
that?
When did you learn?
Who did you meet yesterday?
How long have you been to the USA?
Thank you so much. So, what I'm going to do now is to distribute text. So you will need a pen to complete the task. So you have to work in pairs, and each pair will have just the same text with different information missing. So you have to sit back to back and find information, missing information by asking questions. But please be very careful while asking questions. They have to be formulated very correctly, otherwise you'll get a correct answer. So, do you have to sit face to face?
No.
We have to sit back to back.
And do you have to look at each other's text?
No.
We have to ask questions.
And do you have to read the text or to ask the question to us to fill the gaps?
Ask the questions.
Okay, thank you. Now we have 8 minutes. Please help me to fill the gaps. Okay. Okay, thank you. So we have finished, and now you have 1 minute to compare your texts and find if the information you've got is correct, okay? So, now, hope you remember that you have your students' hats on. Now please remove these hats off, and now answer the following questions. What was the objective of this activity? So, what was the objective of this activity?
To find the information by asking questions.
By asking questions. And what was the target language? So, what language did you use while finding out the information? What language?
They were practicing using past.
Only
How
past
to follow
simple?
the question.
The form of the past.
How? So please take turns while you are speaking. So please.
So they were practicing usage of past simple in questions.
Yes. Was the orderly past simple or any other
W.
question?
Yes, no questions.
Yes, no questions. Past
The
tense
objective was, I think, how to form the questions. Yeah.
to find out past actions.
Past sections. Yeah.
Yes. So, does this activity provide any opportunity for students to practice grammar? It means that Does it-
Sure, they have to use past simple.
Not only past simple, but
Past tense.
The structure of the question correctly to find out the correct information.
yes. Could you please add? Would you add?
No, they should form the questions, past questions. It means that they were practicing in grammar.
Okay, and what other skills apart from asking questions and communication and speaking does this activity practice?
Listening.
Please take turns here, please.
They can practice listening skills as well.
How?
They listen to the partner and work with peers.
Sure, good. What other skills? You please?
I think we have just read and
Sure.
written skills.
Yes, it
Just to ask the correct and appropriate question to get the specific information you want. Because
Yes.
if you don't put the question in a proper way, you won't receive the correct answer and you will be misunderstood.
Sure, sure. You
We
please?
also practice writing because we had to write some words.
Sure.
And so I found out one mistake for me while I was writing some.
Writing or comparing? Writing.
While comparing.
While comparing.
It was not spelling from in the word, but it was the context.
So does pronunciation matter in this case?
Yes, a lot.
How? Why? Please.
So this activity helps students to develop their own skills in writing, reading, listening as well, speaking, grammar, pronunciation as well. So they should answer the questions and they should pronounce these words in the correct way to catch the second students the word and write it in the correct way.
Correctly, yes.
So, because if the pronunciation is not very good, it is difficult. You have a hard time to understand what the speaker talks about. So, pronunciation, of course, matters and a lot.
Thank you.
Can I bring the example of this? And then you
Sure,
and I were just asking questions to each other. Just there was some word missing, kindness in B part, and somehow Nina couldn't catch what did I say, and she had to repeat the question. I have to repeat the word, and it was a good practice in this case that maybe I didn't pronounce it correctly, or I didn't say it in a louder voice, or something happens, and it's a good example of this case.
Okay. Thank you so much. I have one more question. How a text can be used in a different way as information gap activity? How? Just in this case, we practice asking and answering questions to find out past actions. You please?
So, for example, if our objectives is grammar in this case, for example, you can just omit some past simple verbs, for example. For the first step, maybe only the regular verbs. Or if your objective is just to find out the regular verbs, and you can just adjust this information gap filling in any case, we would like to do it.
Okay, any other ideas?
You can omit prepositions. If you teach students preposition, it will be a very good idea to omit the prepositions, and they have to fill in the right prepositions.
Okay.
Maybe students fill the gap with their own ideas and then we'll correct them.
Could you please to be more specific? What do you mean by this?
So they won't find exact information, they will fill in gaps with their own ideas. They will make their own texts at least.
Okay.
They can predict.
They will predict.
Okay. Thank you for your ideas. Now I would like you to reflect back on this activity once again, and I would like to give you two questions, like how this activity can help learners improve their communicative skills, and how can it help teachers to develop student speaking skills. Two questions from teachers and students' perspectives. I will give you these questions in the papers and 5 minutes to write down your ideas and then 5 minutes to share, okay? group. You would be volunteer to start. So while monitoring the results, you have brilliant ideas and please share.
Okay. This activity provides a wide range of tasks to do for students, listening to the questions and answering to these questions, and while comparing, the students can in peers, the students can check their guesses or how they answered, and then that's a great way to communicate among each other. And this activity also develops speaking skills, listening skills, as we said already, and that is to say, it is communicative skills.
Please.
So, I think it's for the teacher's point of view, the benefit for us is that it is less teacher-centered activity, and it is totally student-centered activity, and students ask themselves, they find information themselves and compare the answers themselves. So it's a good example when the teacher takes back seats and just observes and nothing else. And I think the speaking activity might be this way, give more chance to and let them speak more than the teachers.
Yes. More student-centered. Yes, sure. Who else? Can I please?
So I think that it helps teachers to encourage the students, because in this case students are more motivated and the whole class is involved in this activity, speaking at the same time, and all of them are involved.
Yes. So what about working in pairs? Mostly students have to work in pairs. How it can be comfortable for students? What is the benefit of working in pairs in our case?
They feel free.
In my place?
Yes, they feel more comfortable because when direct questioning, they are more confused and hesitate. And when they work in pairs, they feel more comfortable and.
Yes, sure. It is less stressful rather than to be in front of the whole group and to demonstrate something. Yes, you
So
please.
while working in pairs, the students aren't afraid of making mistakes.
Sure.
And they don't feel that the teacher controls them all the time, and this activity is not dominated by the teacher.
Sure.
There is.
You please.
And while discussing the activity, I can say that while doing peer work, sometimes some students stay passive. But in such situations, they both have to be active. They have to produce language, both of them. So they won't avoid being active. And I can say that, which I like the burst of this activity, it is appropriate for all kinds of learners, and especially for audio loss. Well, they hear someone's answer, they have to catch all the answers carefully.
Okay, one more idea. Thank you so
Great
much.
uncontrolled activity.
Thank you. One more idea and
Yes, I wanted just to add something that it was very involving in this case, and why very involving, because there was no other way to find the information but putting questions, and it was in any case just to press and do it and find it, and that was a good idea, and I will steal it from you.
Thank you. Thank you for your contribution. So, hope it was just one chance for us to share ideas about how to make our classes more communicative and how to help our students to become independent language users. Thank you so much.